Hey everybody, of course, this is the conversation, Outspoken Opinionated. I'm your host, Edwin Maya. We are here again for another Thursday. I told you guys we were having some guests, but first let's go to business. So, of course, this is the conversation, Outspoken Opinionated. I am your host, Edwin Maya. Um, you are watching again. Sorry, guys. It's the conversation Outspoken Opinionated. I'm your host, Edwin Maya. If you aren't watching us, we ask you to go to Spotify. You can go to Apple Podcasts as well. We are the conversation Outspoken Opinionated on Facebook. The conversation Outspoken Opinionated. We have had an amazing week. I mean, there have been some ups and downs. There's so many things that have been happening. But today we're here in the studio. We have the guest list for today is amazing. So this is what's going to happen, people. So I'm gonna start the conversation off with one of the guests, and everybody else is going to join us as the conversation goes through. So for those who are watching again, this is the conversation Outspoken Opinionated. I'm your host, Edwin Maya, and we are here today to talk about fashion brands. We have three amazing fashion brands is going to be here with us, giving us some insight on what to do, how to do it, and then basically, I like to say men's fashion. I think what has happened, fashion has turned into now this whole guy thing, and they have these quotes metrosexual, and they have all these different kinds of fashion, everything that men's wear, and all that kind of stuff. And so today, I'm going to be talking to some people who are in the fashion business and what they're doing with their brand and everything. So without further ado, I'm going to start the conversation with the one and only. First of all, I want to make sure because I be messing up people's names. So what's your name? Let the people.
So,
Uh-huh.
my name is Adegbola
There you go.
Adetosoye, but people just call me Ade. I'm
Mm.
of West African descent, Nigeria to be exact.
Okay, and so that's great. And what's the name of your brand?
So the name of my brand is actually called Ade Dapo, which
Okay.
means crown of wealth in Yoruba.
Mm.
So that's where the name comes from.
Good. So what the people are saying, if you can just pull your mic stand back, just push it back a little bit, the whole thingy. There you go. And they said they can't see your face. I don't understand that. I think oh, you know why it's this one. They're saying that they can't see your face. I guess people, yeah, that one, just push that one on the side. There you go. Yep, yep. There you go. There you go. Oh, they can see him now. So we are here today with a great conversation about fashion and all that kind of stuff. So you have a brand. You are doing this fashion thing, and so how was that? How did it start?
So it first started off called Foreign Exchange.
Okay.
Found out that name was being copyrighted. It couldn't go with that. The whole purpose and vision of my brand was to kind of diffuse West African culture or Western culture. I was born and raised in the United States. I saw that there was like a big absence of West African culture being in America. So for me, being born in Western culture, I thought it would be a nice idea to kind of diffuse Western culture, West African culture with American culture.
Mm.
So that's where that brand comes from.
But foreign exchange is not the brand. The brand is
It's called
called
Ade Dapo.
Adedabo. And so Adedabo comes, you say it's a Yoruba, is it a Yoruba or Igbo?
It's a Yoruba name.
Yoruba name. And so what does it mean?
Crown of Wealth.
Crown of wealth. So what was the first thing that when you created this brand and you started, I would say you probably started marketing your brand to make sure it's something that is going to be pleasing to everybody. What was one of the things that you looked at
As far as
as far as as far as fashion? What is it that was needed that you thought you could be a part of?
like I said, for me personally, it was more so to um, have Western culture recognized. I feel like that was like a big absence in culture.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times, when we think of fashion, we think of Europe, European culture, not
Yeah.
African culture. So for me, it was to bring more attention to West African culture and blending that in with Western culture.
Mm. Okay. So you start the fashion brand.
Mhm.
It's going. And so how how did you decide on your pieces, the different pieces that you have?
So for me, I wanted each piece to be unique.
Okay.
For me, it was more so about the patterns, the colors. For me, it was about making sure that everything was different. I didn't want my brand to be something that everybody wore. Like you'd see like 50 copies of one piece of clothing. I wanted it to be kind of unique. That was like the direction that we're going in currently right now, is to make sure that each piece is sort of unique and not the same as far as any other piece that we have.
Mm. And so, how many pieces? What do you have? What kind of pieces
So
do you
right
have?
now, we're still growing.
Okay.
We're still working on certain designs. The main one of our main products that we do have is my sunglasses that I have on right now,
Okay, you see,
which I
he
personally did design myself.
y'all see that the man's already monetizing his business. So he has on his own sunglasses that he's making, and so you can have sunglasses.
So we have a wallet, we have bomber jackets,
Okay.
we have a T-shirt
Mm-hmm.
right now that it's to me it's considered to be high premium cotton,
Okay.
different than what you would normally get from any other store that you would go to.
So, and the T-shirt, is that the white T-shirt?
It is the white
It's
T-shirt.
the famous white T-shirt that you have. How much is that white T-shirt for?
It's actually only $20.
$20 for
And
a
it's of
white T-shirt.
quality very similar to Lululemon.
Okay. So let's talk about the quality. So since you want to put that in, because after it's white T-shirt, some people who don't understand, they would be like, I can go to Walmart and get a white T-shirt for $1.50.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it $20?
So it's the type of cotton that it is. It's
Uh-huh.
not your typical cotton. And normally when you have a cotton shirt, you wash it one time. You only get like, maybe like one or two wears out of it.
Okay.
This one is more so made from different types of cotton, in particular Lima cotton that's found in actually South America,
Okay.
which kind of gives it that stretchy fit that you can actually work out in. So you can wear it with the suit, you can wear it with some regular jeans,
Mm.
or you can wear it to work out in, and you can still wash it and it still comes out where you can still wear it again.
Awesome. So we have seen fashion move into a different trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen, I know for us who try to be fashion forward, some of us try,
Mm-hmm.
but they got the people out there who. And so now we've seen where they're catering more to men
Mm-hmm.
than women. I think now it's just a women is just like plain, like, okay, what are you gonna get? And now they have the non-gender, they have the men can wear suits, they have different shoes, they have a different style of shoes, they have the mules, they have this, they have that. So you as someone who I would say who understands the business and who has to wear the right things because that's part you in, will you say that fashion is more of a trend or is it of style?
It's both.
Okay.
Um, to me, fashion is how you express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
For me, what I may wear, someone else may not wear.
Yeah.
So there are fashion trends that um, people dive into, but for me personally, fashion is definitely a style.
Uh,
It's how we express ourselves. So even like what I have on now, it shows who I am as a person.
mhm.
My unique pieces expresses who I am as a person.
So I don't know. So there has been people have been in our DM and in our inbox about
Mm-hmm.
your picture and they say you look like P. Diddy. And I was like, okay, I see. So have you ever heard that before?
I have.
Oh,
I
okay,
have.
good.
I've
I'm
been,
happy there was not the first time. I was like, oh Lord.
it's not. I've been getting that since I've
You
been in middle school.
okay, good. So yeah, there are a couple of people who said, is that P. Diddy? I say, do you see the name? Good. So we've had that. I just want to cross that bridge.
Yeah.
Cross that bridge, but it could be P. Diddy. I'm just saying, you don't know. People be going places. But anyway, I want to take you a different route. So something happened this remember 2 weeks, two weeks ago with one of the biggest fashion. I would say he probably is one of the
Yeah.
biggest fashion mogul.
Yeah.
Like he started a trend
Mm-hmm.
of things that I mean, people wear it and people looking at you like, are you crazy? Like 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
if we have seen some of the things that he's putting out, people won't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think one of the main things for me when it comes to fashion is the collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
But what I see is I see a lot of home brand, or I would say house brands,
Mm-hmm.
collaborating with the bigger brands.
Mm-hmm.
So Ye collaborated with Balenciaga, he
Mm-hmm.
collaborated with Adidas,
Mm-hmm.
and he made a statement a couple of weeks ago and he lost, and he basically is losing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So from your standpoint as somebody who you have a business, you running a business, you put your sweat and tears in it.
Mhm.
Let's talk about collaboration. What's your thought on it before we go to what do you think about Ye?
Yeah, I think collaborating with big brands can be great. I
Mhm.
think it's important that you don't lose insight as far as like where you actually see your own personal brand. So
Okay.
so for me personally, if I saw there was a good match between me and Adidas because you know we had the same vision as far as like fashion is concerned, then yes, I would collaborate with them. But I would always keep in mind, for me personally, what my mission and vision is. So
Mhm.
for me, ideally, I would not collaborate with someone, maybe not Adidas, just because their mission and vision is a lot different than mine. Versus, I mean, I'm not sure what companies are out there, but any other big brand that's out there that's actually more into like West African culture, I would actually um,
Mhm.
collaborate with.
So I like that because I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, uh, but I have this philosophy where as Black people, as we excel and as we move up the ladder, no matter what industry we're in, we need to focus on collaborating with our Black people.
Hmm.
And that's just me. And
Hmm.
that's just pro Black talking right out of my face.
Hmm.
And also, as an African, someone of African descent, I want to collaborate with somebody who from African descent because guess what? There's a kind of aesthetic. There is the learning process, the way we do things that I think there is some similarity in it. And I don't know if that's how you feel.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's just
Mhm.
more so collaborating with someone or
Okay.
collaborating with another brand that's that shares the same vision as you,
Hmm.
and not losing um, your mission and vision as far as where you want your brand to go. There has to be that connectivity to it.
So let's talk about cancellation
Hmm.
because I think and I don't think we can have, and I know when the other guests join us we will get into deeper into it, but I just want to hear your point of view first. I don't think we can have a fashion conversation without talking about what happened.
Gotcha.
Like, he's huge
Gotcha.
and he's being canceled.
Absolutely.
Basically he's being canceled by everybody and everyone.
Gotcha.
And this is a statement that somebody said, and I want to ask you this. Said, well, he has been trying to get out of his contracts for years,
Hmm.
and so this was a way for him to get out of his contract,
Hmm.
but he apologized today. So I bring it up to you. Is is it worth being canceled? I don't know how to say it. Like, you got your brand, you sweat over your brand, you've worked so hard to get your brand to where it is. Is it worth it? And you can be
Yes.
politically correct.
Yes. Say it again.
I say, and you can be politically
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Okay. So yes and no.
Okay.
I think you got to be very careful of what you say and how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do I agree with Ye's comments? No, I do not. Um, but I also understand um, where he was going with it. I think in the society that we live in now, that we're all they try to mute us. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't express who you are. And one thing I've always respected with Kanye, I don't always agree with what he says and does. Um, is he's very outspoken. He speaks his mind. And I think that's important in anything in anything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even as me as an artist, or as me as a creator, if I had somebody over my shoulder telling me what to do, I would kind of like lose that vision. So I
Yeah.
think it's important that you know that we actually we don't silence those people.
Yeah, and for the fashion houses and all these big brands that have, that literally cancel him. And for me, when you cancel someone, I don't know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when you cancel someone like that, you are not only you're canceling him as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
but you're also canceling his creativity. And I think that is where my issue is.
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, Adidas canceled the contract with Ye. They did. But now they're pulling his creative knowledge off shelves. So Foot Locker is pulling his stuff. Everybody's pulling his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, okay, are we literally like saying, okay, this person don't exist, we eliminate them? That's how I feel. And you as a creative person, what do you think? If God forbid you get canceled, like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so my work and everything, like,
Well, I mean, the thing is with that is you're allowed to speak your mind, but there are repercussions for anything that you
Yep,
do. So I
agree.
mean, Kanye doing that, yeah, you can speak your mind, but you have to understand, those Jewish people run those networks and they run those communities. So yeah, he spoke his mind, but it came with a cost, and the cost was he lost those partnerships. So that's just what it is.
And we take it back to fashion. So are we? So I look at, okay, so a brand like Balenciaga, which is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I It's stupid money that I spend. It
Mm-hmm.
don't make sense, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like, okay, you guys, you've used his knowledge
Mm-hmm.
over the years.
Mm-hmm.
You used his knowledge over the years, and he made a statement. Yes, he made a statement that was derogatory, that was not appropriate, but he made a statement. So are we pulling, because this is how I feel, are we taking his fashion, his creativity? Because I know there are still ideas
Mm-hmm.
that they were probably in meetings or
Mm-hmm.
probably in talk.
Mm-hmm.
So when the contract is cut, but you still have his knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
does he receive his knowledge back?
I mean, so one thing about Kanye, I'll say is Kanye is a smart guy. I mean, you
Mhm.
don't get to where you don't become a billionaire
No.
being stupid.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt in my mind he'll bounce back.
Well,
Um, was this the smartest decision? Me personally, probably not. Um, but someone that creative, who's an independent thinker, there's no way you can keep him down.
yeah, and so what we're gonna do, okay, guys, so we have a good time, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna go on commercial break. We're gonna go to a commercial break and then we're gonna be right back. So you guys just be here. We're gonna be back and just hold on.
These Bubbles and Co. believes in creating your own style with your accessories. Our collection of Afrocentric and Eurocentric accessories allows you to do just that. Our beaded collection features the Maasai beads of East Africa, the rich patterns and vibrant colors of the African wax print fabric gives you options from clutches to hats. We understand the assignment when it comes to accessorizing.
Hey, and we are back. And like I said, so we have another person in the studio with us. Yes, sir. They want you can come closer to the table because they can see you, but now they can see you. So we have another person in the studio with us, Mr. Chaun Collins, who's been doing some great things. So, sir, you can tell the people who you are and what you do and what's going on with your fashion.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, my name is Chaun Collins. I design footwear. I've been designing footwear since 2015, and footwear from women's footwear, men's footwear, trainers, heels. It's a bunch of collaborations I've been doing. I've worked with a bunch of celebrity stylists, clientele, stuff like that, and just been building my brand since 2015 now. About to release a fall winter collection, and it's be on the way. So yeah.
Okay. So we have been having a full conversation. So you join the conversation. We're gonna just pick your brain. What was the idea behind you starting the footwear collection?
Um, I actually it came from a thought that I had like when I was 9 years old. So I'm from Liberia. I was born and raised there, but I was also born raised in New York. So my mom had to like hustle to get us all the shoes. Me and my brother, get us all the shoes. The Timbs. New York is fast fashion, so you gotta be with the trends, or you be left behind. So just seeing that, how much effort she put into trying to raise us and get things for us. Like I said, I was walking back from home, and I was like, if Jordan can make his own shoe, then so can I, and that thought just kind of like aligned my life to be where I am now. So, like from graphic design to web development, like everything has just been, to specifically start my passion and stuff like that. So that's the origin of it. Yeah.
So okay, so you've got the shoe brand. You are we have we've seen it. It's funny that a lot of I might be wrong, but I don't think a lot of Liberians
Yeah.
patronize you. And so I want to ask the style and the aesthetic of your shoes.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. So how did that come to be? Because I think it's like a funky in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, with my design concepts, like right now, I want to be like one of high end. When you think about like black owned brands, black owned companies, you don't really think like quality is behind it. I mean, a lot of people would rather buy Givenchy's shoe compared to my shoe, just because of the fact that it's a black brand compared to a predominantly white brand. So um, that's what I'm spearheading, trying to go. So a lot of my collection and everything I release is I try to put a lot of quality in it, and the concepts have to be like out the box and things of that nature. So I'm very versatile with my design concepts. It can go from luxury and classic to something that's like completely off the rim and futuristic. So I try to be versatile in my design, so I can grab different communities, whether you want luxury or whether you want concepts or whether you want something that's functional, athletic, and so on.
Yeah, and it's funny because so I had one pair of the shoe and my cousin took it from me. So I ordered it, I got it, and I went to Liberia and I took it, and he was like, I've never seen that before. Where is that? I said, oh, it's this. And I'm like trying to like say, oh, your brother won't like it. And he like, dude, nobody got their shoes in Liberia. That shoe is not going. And so he took it from me. But you have built your brand. You've been able to get into stores. And so I want to ask you, how have you been able to collaborate with other people if you have collaborated?
Yeah, I've collaborated with a lot. Actually, my last collaboration was one of my friends. His name's Snatch Couture on Instagram, but he cut and sew, So but he has a lot of celebrity content. So he used to do pop ups. So just like how artists do like world tours in different cities and stuff like that. So we did that too, but with clothing brands. We got together as a few different brands, and then we put together our networks of who we knew, where we knew them, and then moved on from there. So like some of his clientele and some of my clientele just became one, and collaborations. I think I like a lot at the person behind the brand first, the personality, the mindset, where they're trying to go, and see if it aligns with my brand and where I'm trying to go first before I collaborate with people. And then from there, it's a joint effort to make a collaboration of a product. So.
Yeah, and so I think that's what fashion is all about. And I think I was having a conversation with Ade earlier before you joined us, that fashion, in my perspective, fashion has turned into this guy thing. I think like the men are taking over. Like, I mean, you go places, you go out to stores and stuff like that, and I'd be like, oh, okay, I guess my fashion is nowhere compared to what I've seen. I'm like, but what I've noticed is everybody wants to follow certain fashion trend, but they don't realize that every fashion is not for everybody. Right. So you do shoes. And so have you encountered people where it's like, I really want to get this guy this shoe, but his style, this shoe not gonna work?
I actually no, I haven't experienced that. Because like if I'm reaching out to somebody and let's say it's like promotional wear or somebody's doing a pull for a certain fashion show, magazine, or anything like that, more than likely the person likes my design. It fits their design, like their stylist has taken the pull from me, and then for me personally, once I hear where it's going to, I'm pretty sure that person aligns with my brand. So a lot of times it's not like I'm iffy about who's going to do. A lot of times though, to get brands out there and get your stuff out, you have to give it away.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, especially if it's a celebrity, you're more likely giving away for free. And with that, you have to be mindful of that, because sometimes, depending on how good your relationship is with the stylist, when that comes down to that project that you're doing, you might not get your product featured, because they have so many designs from so many other people. First they get out the big brands first, and then if they have the need to put in your brand inside the collection or whatever it might be, you might get in or you may. So sometimes the hit and miss, you have to have patience and be able to have that expense on deck. So because you never know, you might get the feature or you might not. So.
Well, people, this is it. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to shuffle a little bit and we're going to see you guys soon. So hold on. We're going to be right back.
These Bubbles & Co. believes in creating your own style with your accessories. Our collection of Afrocentric and Eurocentric accessories allows you to do just that. Our beaded collection features the Maasai beads of East Africa, the rich patterns and vibrant colors of the African wax print fabric, gives you options from clutches to hats. We understand the assignment when it comes to accessorizing.
We are back. We're still continuing. We are talking about fashion. I got all my guests in the studio with me. So we got Ade over there. Say hi to the people for those who just joining. We got Mr. Chaun over here. And we have Etienne Uncle Dope. You know I like that name, right? Did I have I explained this whole process?
Nah, you
to
told me. You told me.
I
Love
love that name. And then you guys got Uncle Dope Cartel. I'm like, man, this is where I'm supposed to be. That's the stuff I'm supposed to be. But welcome. We've been having a great conversation. I'm just going to turn it over to you to tell us. So you have a brand, Uncle Dope.
Yeah.
And can you talk to us about why that name? First of all, and why you're not scared to even have that name. I can put that one in like English. Why you have that name? But where did it come from?
Yeah. So the name came from. It's like a double entendre. So dope is a word we use in black culture, hip hop culture. You know what it means.
Yeah.
Anything cool, anything that can mix with you. Uncut is like the pinnacle of that. It's like that raw, unadulterated thing that you love. You know what I mean? And so that's where the name comes from, and we put that together just like that.
Okay, so what do you guys do? What kind of
Yeah,
approach you guys have?
we do streetwear, but it's Uncle Dope is a lifestyle brand, so it's not
Okay.
just a clothing brand or a streetwear brand, anything like that. It's a lifestyle brand, so we do events. I make other products besides clothing.
Mhm.
We even do philanthropy things. You know what I mean? So there's different projects that we get into that embodies the entire lifestyle, and that would encompass culture.
Okay, and so we are as black people. A lot of people, everybody in this room is directly from have a direct connection to somewhere in Africa. I have the Liberian people in here. I have the Nigerian men in here, and so we have seen this new thing. And I'm just gonna be straight up for people who watching it don't like it, it's your problem. Africa has hit the map. When I was here in school, if I wore an African shirt, they would deal with me from the beginning of the day until the end of the day of school. But now everything has some kind of African thing in it. And so I ask you guys, who I believe you have literally strived to bring African culture to the front force, and now that you see it happening, but it's still giving credit to the colonizers. As a brand owner, how do you feel? I'm going to start with you, Ade, because you're in Nigeria. I know you guys want to kill somebody.
Well, for me, I think it's pretty cool. Like you said, it's funny because growing up, I was called an African booty scratcher.
Tell me about it.
Made fun of. I would have to run to my teacher and pronounce my name because I didn't even know whether to butcher it because I wasn't proud of for anybody to say my name. And here we are in 2022, where it's cool to be Ade.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think Megan came out earlier this week and said she was 47% Nigerian.
Nigerian, yeah, Megan Markle.
So I mean, yeah, I think it's a cool thing. I don't really see it as the colonizers getting credit. I look at it more as we getting credit, and that's putting us more on the map. So yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I think it's a pretty cool thing, and I think as African people, it's pretty cool to kind of like continue to push that narrative. So,
Mr. Collins.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with him as well. I don't necessarily think that they're getting credit. I think more so it's we're aligning ourselves with our people.
Yeah.
So, for example, like Telfar has been out for a while, and first it caught a lot of traction because Beyonce and everybody, and every person that fell in, every black person that fell in behind that person. So the more and more we back each other, the more prominent our brands would be. Like black culture in general makes sales for a lot of industries. And if we understood the buying power that we had and, move like that, I guarantee like a lot of brands, a lot of things would be coming out of it. Like, for example, a new endeavor I'm trying to get into is van life. And I'm trying to construct vans and convert them into homes, things of that nature. And right now it's a prominently a white thing, to go camping or to do this van life thing. I was actually pitching the idea to other people, and they're like, Why would I be on a van? Why would I want to live in a van and things like that? And it's like, well, you save rent. You don't have to pay rent. This van is yours. This home is yours. Like the next thing after that, it's like, is it a good investment? Of course, you can sell the van to somebody else that's like into RVing or camping. It's always a profit. But people can't fathom the fact that like we can do something like that. And it's not the norm, so people are hesitant about it. They don't want to get into it. But when you flood the market and you have the backing, I guarantee we can get a lot more credit than what we deserve.
Uncle Dope.
Yeah. As far as like colonizers getting the credit, I think that comes from, so I'll give you this example, right? It's the thing we always hear about, like with fast fashion and how they steal a lot of designs from young up and coming designers.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
The young up and coming designer might have some of their local support. They may still be on their journey to like really just breaking out there and being in the mainstream. But usually you have a company like I don't want to say ASOS as if they're the main people doing it, but like Fashion Nova does it. Some of those other cheap brands, they do it, and they'll see what these young people are doing. They'll take the exact design, maybe tweak a little something and put it out there because what they have is they have the finance, they have the platform, and they have everything structurally built for them to put those things out there. So they eclipse what you're trying to do. So like even if you come out with a brand and it's going crazy and it's like a fully African infused brand where you're using uncover materials and designs and whatnot. If once it will start catching on, please believe anything you create, any design you put out there, any silhouette you create, it'll end up on one of those sites. You know what I'm saying? So you have that, and then they can reach so many other people that have never even heard of you. You'll be somebody on Instagram having your gripe on Twitter or something like that. And only the people who follow you are tapped into what you got going on. They know the problem that you're facing or that you created those designs. And so they'll be thinking like, oh yeah, I can't believe Fashion Nova is doing this African thing. Whole time, every design that Fashion Nova just dropped from their little African collection is from somebody else that's been struggling, going through the whole motions, trying to put their thing out. So I think that's one aspect of it that it really needs to be addressed, and it needs to bring there needs to be more awareness brought to it. But also, I just think that as African designers, as we come up, we got to form a good ecosystem in a community of sharing resources, putting one another on platforms like what you're doing right now, so that the awareness will be there. People will know where they can go and they can find things created by people who are like them. You know what I mean? And it's a long road we got to go. There's years and there's incredible finance behind these other organizations, and we just coming up bootstrapping in the beginning and just trying to figure out your way and learning as you go along. And I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, and I would say a couple of months ago, I had Koto Momolu. She was the first African to be on Project Runway, directly from Liberia. And we had a great conversation. And she talked about, her experience going to Project Runway, being a celebrity, things that come with it. Then you're a Liberian. And so something that me and her talk about is this notion that I think is in the African community. It's like that. You have a shoe brand. Your mom get a call from one of her friends. Somebody said, "Oh, my son said he saw the. Tell your son to get me one of the shoe, man." You have family members who will say, "So what is the discounts?" Or you will have people who will say, "How can I, my man, you can't give me one of those hoodie for $5 when it's $20." So how are you guys being able to deal with that?
I think just being consistent. I mean, for me, I think being consistent, persistent. I mean, just back to what you said before, even your clothing brand, it takes time to grow it. When I think about Balenciaga and Gucci, they've been here for years, decades. It didn't just start in the 21st century. It started in the 19th century. I'm sorry, the 20th century, my bad. Somebody actually in the 19th century. So it's just being, so it's being consistent, passing it on to your lineage, and actually having a direction with your brand. What does it stand for? So your lineage can pass that on, and It may not blow up today, it may not blow up tomorrow, but over time it actually will. When you have a sense of direction, as I told you before, actually having a mission and vision with your brand, which is very essential.
Mhm.
Yeah, I totally agree. But for me personally, like, so if let, before you go and meet these people, these individuals, you got to understand like what your brand is, and where you're trying to go with your brand. So if you want to go in a high end market, you got to understand like these people are not going to get your shoe for free or cheap, And if you are going to give it away for free or for cheap, then you have to know what you're going to get back in return for your brand. How is it going to help you, and like how is it going to move your brand moving forward? Because like I said, doing stars polls, some people they want it for free. They have the clout. They say, all right, well, I'm helping you. If I put this on, this is what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So and with that understanding, then okay, all right, I might give this one for free for this person. But even still, like if you're dealing with high clientele, if you feel as though they need to value you and value your brand, they should pay for whatever what you have. And that same thing goes with anybody like your friends or whatever. Like if this is a product that you're standing by, let them say, well, I try to get a shoe that man charged me way too much. I didn't want it. Be consistent with your brand. If that's the person not going to support you, there's another person that will. And I actually, from when I started my brand, like way, like when I was 12, 13, it was like t-shirts and stuff like that. Like my first order came from Denver. It wasn't even anybody that I knew locally. First order came from Denver. So like you don't ever know where your first client is going to come from, or if they're going to be able to afford it or not. You just have to stick by the model of your brand and the direction you're trying to go.
Yeah, tying into what he said, I think the vision is important. When you have that vision and you really see and you have the desire to make that vision a reality and you're really tied to it. And that's very important when you start in anything, in business in general. Just that vision. It's kind of like your North Star. So the times when you kind of feel weak about the pricing model that you have and you want to give somebody something for less, or some of your base is complaining about the price points and whatnot. At the end of the day, where you're trying to go, and you've done the research, and like, yo, my price is where it's supposed to be. It's not anything extravagant. It's where it's supposed to be for the type of product I'm putting out there. The materials, all the production costs, the marketing costs, and everything that's built into pricing, the whole marketing mix. It's like it's all there. So that you cannot dumb down your price just because you got a few people complaining. And I think that's one of the things that's like, an up and coming brand owner and that I've learned, and that I've learned a lot from other people who have prominent brands that are already doing their thing and making numbers, is that you can't always rely on your friends and the people closest to you. So then we talking about our people, like brands, you wouldn't want to ask for a discount or whatever. So when it comes to that, it's like one way that I've been able to deal with that is like in the beginning, I would just break, you know what I mean, and I would give those discounts out or give out free items, but there was no return for me, because it's like, okay, I rock with you, you're a friend of mine, and I want to give it to you because I want you to have what I create, right? But you don't really have a following. You don't really do anything with the brand. You don't even send me pictures of it when I give it to you. You don't, when you wear it, you tell me, oh yeah, man, I like that sweatsuit. It's so good. It feels so good on me. High quality, woo woo. I don't even get the picture so that I could use it in marketing, right? So then what benefit is it for me to give you that every single time for free? So what I started doing personally was just being more strict with my policy. I don't break. You know what I mean? Now, if there's somebody that wants something from me, and I love when they come to me with a value proposition. It's like, yo, I like the brand. I want this, is that, and the third. Look, this is what I got going on. This is where I'm about to be at. I'm about to shoot this video. This is that, and the third. And I want to rock it over there. I already know you coming with value for me. So you're not just trying to get something from me for free just because I got it. You're trying to give me something as well. I respect that. So I don't have a problem working things out with those type of people. You know what I mean? But and then just also just like he said, just sticking to your vision, and the pricing model is where it's supposed to be. And then I do things just personally with my brand, like I will make sales or give discount codes to people that have continuously supported me to give them that break, and my discounts be crazy. So like you better use it when it's there, because you're getting 50% off and things like that. So
where I be?
You be busy recording podcasts.
Shit.
I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna go on record and say this. I challenge all Black people to put down the Balenciagas and the Gucci and to support and buy Black. Make that cool.
I agree.
Rock my boys' sneakers.
I
Rock
agree.
my boys' gear.
I
Going
agree.
to the Gucci store on Black Friday.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Right, right.
It's hard.
Because honestly, going back to like what Kanye said, I mean, like, there's some truth in what he said.
That-
Yeah.
Like, I
Kanye
mean,
is a genius,
the
man.
Jewish people
Okay,
support the
we're
Jewish
going there.
people.
Keep on, we're going.
Like black people need to support each other too at the same time.
But I think that is the problem within the fashion world. I think, and so I was reading an article one time, and she's a model, it's Naomi Campbell, and people call her aggressive, and they say she's very aggressive, she's very disrespectful, she's this, she's that, she's the other, and she said, "Well, I'm glad that you guys can see you acknowledge me.
Yeah.
You see me, because in order for you to see me, I had to do these things for you to see me. So if I had sat in the back and not said anything and allow you to tell me what I'm supposed to wear and how I'm supposed to turn, and when I said no, then you won't recognize me. But because I came up toe to toe with you, now you're calling me aggressive. You sound disrespectful and rude, and I think that's when it comes to black everything. It's hard for us. It's already hard. Let's just put it out there. It's already hard. But if we don't support each other, it gets worse. So go into the space where we're talking about the whole fashion, and we're talking about, the African-centric fashion now, when they have this new thing I call Ankara, which I don't like. I still call it Lapa because it's Lapa. Y'all don't get mad at your business. I don't understand that word. I don't know where it came from. I've never heard it until the new generation. Everything now is Ankara. I don't know what that is. But I went into Macy's the other day, and there was this dress, this African dress. That sucker was like almost $300. And I forgot who the designer. It's a reputable designer that I swear to God, they went to Africa, bought that stuff off the freeway with one of those people that suddenly came and put the label on it. It was a regular, mama can call it free dress. Wait, that's free. You have, and I was like, what is going on? But we don't take advantage of that. We don't see how important our stuff is, and so I go to you, who your stuff is high end. Like, it's not like a lot of people don't have it. Like I told you, I bought the shoe. My cousin has this in Liberia. Nobody else has worn it in Liberia. No, everybody asking where did he get it from. We don't tell people where we get our stuff from. That's just us. But nobody. And so you, with that style and with that aesthetic and where you're going with your brand, have you ever thought about the process to break into the market of people who can afford the Chaun Collins and the Balenciagas and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll make a statement on that, and then I'm just going to backtrack from a few things that you said. But like with the Naim campus, all right. With black women, having that black woman aggression, I say if they say that you have it, keep it going.
Yeah.
Just because somebody has this vision or has this idea that you're aggressive, that doesn't mean that you are aggressive.
No.
So if it intimidates them in any type of way, but it's giving you breakthrough, just do it. Regardless if you have people commenting, people's feelings doesn't mean just because they feel some type of way that means they're right. I could yell and scream and whatever, that could be me, and somebody can take it like that person's being aggressive, but I'm not. If that's not my personality, if that's not me, that doesn't mean that whatever you view of me is true. So if it gives you headway into whatever market you're going to, continue to do it. A lot of times, where one thing about art and being creative, like legally, anybody can make a design and have a small tweak to it. That's a whole totally different concept, whole totally different design, and you can't do anything about it. Like right now, it's in my footwear industry circle, like a lot of people that's like just trying to make a profit. So like I don't hate the idea. I respect the hustle.
Okay.
But a lot of people right now are taking a Jordan 1 silhouette and they're like slapping their own logos on the side. They're taking the way the Nike check and everything and just slapping their own logo on the side. I mean, and they're making like one of my friends, his name is David Weeks. He did a collaboration with Kai, and right now they have the brand where they're just switching out the swoosh. That's a Nike logo, and they're putting the Thunderbolt on the side.
Yeah.
So they're making bank. I know they are. So but this the reason why I respect is because like Jordan, this entire time, Jordan and Nike has been hitting our heads ever since you're small. you want to get that new Jordan product, and sometimes it's expensive and sometimes it's too exclusive. You didn't get the opportunity to get it. So right now they're bringing out colorways that people never got and making it more affordable and widespread to other people. So, with that being said, moving on to the question that you asked me, like the different the different markets out here. There are a lot of high end brands like I'm not going to get into who they are, but like different high end brands own other divisions of the brand. You might it's a so what we know here has been fashion brands on a normal level. It's fashion houses up here. So fashion houses own other brands that trickle down. So I mean, if you want to start off being high end, you can be that high end brand and stay with that. And if you want to give the opportunity for other people to have a more affordable concept, a more affordable brand, you can break off and then make a subdivision of your own brand. So then you can still invite these people, into your brand. One thing I'm doing right now, one thing I know for sure is like the next brand that I'm releasing, if it's footwear, you're not going to know the designer. So you're never going to see my face. You're just going to hear about it, right? And then when you hear the hearsay builds the buzz, right? But when you put in an identity to a brand and you put a certain, race to a brand, then you understand like where the market's going to go, and it forces you to try being that brand. But if you already have the credibility, you already have the sources, and everybody's already back in the brand, then you come out with who the designer is. What can you do? What can they say? It's already up here already. So now you just have to pinpoint the person.
So now I'll go to you, lifestyle.
Mhm.
It's all lifestyle. So lifestyle incorporates everything a person will need, wellness and all that good stuff. And so how have you been able to deal with the fact that there are people who don't understand the entire concept of what a lifestyle is, but they actually still want your brand?
Right.
And so how do you articulate that to them?
I guess lifestyle is kind of a vague term, right? So, but when you think about lifestyle, you think about your own lifestyle first, right? So you think about the things that you do in your everyday life from the moment you get up to the time you go to sleep. So you get up, you put on underwear, brush your teeth, you do, you go get a cup of coffee. Boom, we make coffee noise. You know what I mean? You put on some joggers. There you go. You put on some joggers. You run around. You do your errands and whatnot. We create joggers. We create those kind of things that you can wear in those atmospheres. You go to work and you do whatever it is that you do. You come home, you go to happy hour, you want to go out tonight, you want to wear something. Some of the apparel that we make are things that you can wear to go and do that. You pull out your wallet, take out your card. That's something that we're about to drop soon. We're working on a wallet. You know what I mean? So these are all things that come with a particular lifestyle. They're all items that are not just, I think in the traditional sense of fashion, we think about just apparel. But it's not just apparel. It's different things. It could be somebody could create a pocket knife. One of my homeboys, he has a brand and he's based in Philly, and what he does is he has rugs. He makes rugs. He makes clothing, but he makes rugs too. You know what I mean? So these are all things that encompass a lifestyle. There's another person that I know, and he does like just custom stuff. He's based out of New Jersey, and he reupholsters your car with his own. He'll do like high-end leather, but he'll redo your whole car in his own design of leather. Now, it's not something that you can mass produce. It's more of like it's a custom thing. You know what I mean? But it's a bespoken item. But that's lifestyle. You know what I mean? So like when we look at brands like Kith is a huge brand now. It was a streetwear thing in a store, but now look at what Kith is doing. You know what I mean? He's doing deals with BMWs where he's curating the type of BMW that they're releasing. You know what I mean? So when you go and buy this BMW, you could go and buy it. He can go and buy it. It's gonna have Kith. It's gonna say Ronnie Faye's name, and it's gonna have Kith right there when you step on the plate. You know what I mean? When you look in the car and you put on the dashboard, you have the BMW stuff, but Kith is there. The brand is there. That's full lifestyle. You know what I mean? So that's the vision that I have for like what we have going on. That's what I would like to grow into, because it's more than just fashion and putting some clothes on my body and running around. It just encompasses everything that I want to do. My entire being is my lifestyle, and so it's translated through the brand, and it connects with other people who find those things. They connect with those things. You know what I mean?
And so Mr. Ade came here with his sunglasses. He has his sunglasses on. I told you, it's super dope. I love round frames. That's like my every day, even though I wear glasses. So I can really wear sunglasses. So it's like a hard life for me, but I buy them I still buy them. That's the craziness about spending money.
It's one of our best selling items.
So so I just want to focus on the eyewear.
Right.
I think a lot of times when people talk fashion, they don't look at eyewear, but they don't know how much money is in it. Because when you go on vacation, you have, if you're like me, you have like three or four. I'm just saying, that's just me. I had a three or four, five or six or seven or eight or nine or 10. Everything I go, everything. And so when it comes to your brand, what is your most lucrative piece? Because you have multiple pieces.
I would say the sunglasses, the bomber jacket, or even a wallet.
Okay.
The sunglasses to me are probably my favorite, just because they're very distinct.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, put my sweat and tears into this. Um, when I say that, I really mean it. Went through a lot of mock copies, and for me, what makes my brand a lot different than most brands in general is I actually design my pieces. So they're not like I actually go through multiple drafts before I actually release it. Even like now, we're actually coming up with a new sunglasses now for summer 2023.
Okay.
We're actually working on that project now. I'm working with my assistant. So for me, it's just about just unique pieces. Again, this is my favorite wear just because again I designed these. And the one that we're working on now for 2023 are going to be even better.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little secret. I started doing the eyewear because when I realized that I couldn't, I was wearing, had to start wearing glasses. I needed something that I could wear in the day, and then I could wear in the night and also in the day because that was my thing. I love sunglasses, and so I started that process, and that process is not a joke. I give up.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 3 years. First of all, just to do the mock-up and do all this stuff. And my idea was it was very Afrocentric. It was going to have like things look like African fabric inside and stuff like that. And it was a lot. And I just gave up. And so I just want to commend you for continuing doing it because someone who tried it and knew that it was hard, I was like, this is not for me. I got to work and do my 9 to 5. Then I got to be doing this stupid shit. The Chinese people don't get up at a certain time. I got to be getting 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning talking to them. No, that's not my life. Yeah, that's not my life. But we have all, I think everybody in this room and everybody part have all started something from somewhere. And so as we, over the last couple of days, we have seen somebody who started something from somewhere and it's literally evaporating. And I know that people have this conspiracy theory that's saying, oh, Yi wanted to get out of his contracts anyway. So he's this is what he's doing and blah blah blah. And I did had a conversation before you guys joined us, and I said, these brands are canceling Kanye West. But it's not only canceling Kanye West, they are canceling his creative products. Because what is happening is when Foot Locker say, oh, we're pulling his stuff off the shelf, they're not canceling only him. They're literally trying to eliminate him. They're literally trying to get, and for me, I'm like, you're literally trying to get rid of a black man. So that's how I see it. That's just me. And so I put it up to you guys. What do you guys think?
As I said earlier before, you can't cancel creativity. He's too creative to cancel. I guess it's a minor setback or a comeback for Kanye to me. Someone who's that creative. There's a reason why Balenciaga and Adidas paired up with him. Because he is a genius in his own ways. Even though
he's
can
too
be
smart for me.
very problematic. You can't keep a good man down. You can't kick a good man down for too long. So
yeah, I mean, piggybacking on what you said, like for me, in fact, when it comes to fashion and showing my black designers, Kanye is a big icon to me, and he's actually a really dope creative genius, if you look at, so the media likes to say, yeah, he's mad, he's crazy, he's wild, I mean, in some parts it's just his personality, that's who he is. And then when he feels so passionate about something, some of his words can just come off, take not context, so but like if you look at him and his ideology, you can understand that the man is a fully thinking person. Like it is with intention and it's with a good intention. Like right now they're pushing that he was saying some anti-Semitic things, and then like some of the things he was doing, it goes against an ethnic group, and for that reason, you should cancel his product. Like I've never seen any like a cancellation so swift, and crazy, with the exception of the baby, but he actually said some things that would actually hurt a certain demographic of people. Kanye West just presented. If you look at the 3 hour interview he did with Drink Champs, which is what's causing all the uproar, if you look at what he said, he's like, in his industry, right, with his music industry, a lot of people control a lot of their products and their hearsay and everything they want to do. He's like, when these people are making money off of the demise of black culture, so like most of these artists that they sign, they're not saying like, yeah, come out, put money into the community. This is what I like to do, and build us up as people. Most of them are like, I'm like F this, and I did your girl and all this other stuff, because that's just part of our culture right now. So I mean, it's part of anybody's culture. Anybody can be saying whether you're white, Spanish, or whatever. But these people that get signed and get these contracts, that's all they're pushing to our youth, and because of that, they send out these contracts, and these people get paid. But now, when you look at the top, like he was saying, when you look at the top artists on the iTunes or Apple or whatever, none of them have those type of lyrics in their thing. But these rappers that we have in our community, they're pushing those narratives, and they get being funded by those who are in charge, and most of them are Jewish led entrepreneurs, businessmen, and all of these things. So it's not like he was saying anything that was like racially, um, it had some racial intent to it that was bad for anybody. It's just that he was pointing out exactly what's happening in these markets, and you can apply that to music, sports, and all these other industries that we're in. Also, predominantly, if they're not predominantly owned by white people, then you have the other section of people as well that he's talking about. And I just think like Kanye with his, like, to become the richest black billionaire in America, right? You can't be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, just look at everything he said, everything for that man to move from, and he went into debt, right? He left the contract with Nike. He, went into debt, and he's still the richest black billionaire in America. So I mean, if that individual is so crazy, like, how you surpass all of us? Not even all of us, just black people, Spanish people, white people, and how is he like that rich, right, and that successful in such a short amount of time? And just the same that everything is being canceled for him, it just proves his point even more. So that means like moving forward, people should be paying attention to Kanye and actually trying to back him, because you can see like these people and these companies that are canceling him, they have the power. They're trying to have the power to shut him down. He's a billionaire now. What you can do, he has the platforms, he has the ability to now make his own factories, make his own brand, make his own stuff. Like, you don't need anybody anymore. Like from Nike to Adidas to Louis Vuitton to Gap, like all these people are trying to get Kanye. It's for a reason.
Anything you want to address that?
Yeah. So like I'll go off of one thing that Chaun said about how Kanye went into debt, deep debt, with that whole Nike situation. Actually, according to his words, his wife bailed him out of that. And then he was able to start with a clean slate. I mean, of course, though, he had assets and different deals and whatnot, but cash wise, he was in contractual debt.
Right.
So with Kanye he's a creative genius. I think that Kanye needs media training that he will never ever sit down and allow, because at this far in the game, he should have been had, and if he ain't get it, he ain't never gonna get it.
Right.
I agree.
He's not an individual that really knows how to communicate properly, or nor does he care to read the room or tailor his wording to really make the real impact. He just says whatever. I think we can say that it's passion. We can say that part of it arrogance. You know what I'm saying? But then a part of it could also be what people talk about as far as his mental health, situation. I think when you know a little bit about mental health, and especially people in that space, have identified that like when an individual is manic, that's where he's at. But he's not lying about certain things. You know what I mean? He may be saying a little bit of BS in between certain rants and whatnot, but with the whole idea that the Jewish people are heavily populated in these spaces where the money and the control is centered at, that's a very real thing. And I think if you just do your knowledge, you're gonna find that out. It's not anything out there that's hidden.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing hidden. You could really just look things up and you'll see who owns what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with the music industry, yeah, these are the people that are cutting the checks. These are the people that are putting the marketing dollars behind the drill artists, but they don't put the marketing dollars behind people that are bringing up forth a positive message. These are the people that are uplifting, the female artists who sell nothing but sex and prostitution and things like that, but they don't give the female artists that don't necessarily do that, but just as dope. They don't give them that platform. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the things that people need to realize, and it ties into another theme with Kanye. Back in the day, I think one of the most famous interviews and excerpts we get from Kanye is, "You don't have the answers, Sway."
No, you don't.
But Sway had the answer. Sway was telling you this a long time ago that, like, yo, you don't really need these people. You want to be accepted by the fashion industry and these fashion people and this group of folks so much, and you just, you kind of prostituting yourself in the way you're going about it. At the end of the day, he's been able to do enormous things in the industry and rub shoulders and learn from some people that, you can't even get next to these type of people outside of, like, you just somebody that nobody's ever heard of, but you're working alongside them. But that was the path that he took, and now this is the path that he's gonna have to ride out. You know what I mean? But even back then, Kanye West had the level in cultural relevance to where he's like a deity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he could have been doing a lot of the things in fashion and making impact without having to go to Langley and having to then get frustrated with the doors that are closed in his face, or not being able to move how he want to move in these certain sections because you run into them for money. They're gonna always control you. You know what I mean? And now I think that he's in a space where it's gonna be very interesting to watch what he does at this point. You know, Adidas owns all his designs. Gap owns the word Yeezy. These are all things that he no longer has, but I don't think that it's some grand design that he just wanted all of these companies to cancel him to do that. That's not real. Don't nobody want JP Morgan Chase not to do business with.
Exactly.
That's not a
that's yes.
Some of these places that they're shutting him down at. These are not good things.
No.
Nothing and anybody with a master plan would want to happen.
No, it's
But
great. It's great.
like Ade was saying, he's so creative, and he still has such a capture on the general public, and especially these younger people out here, that anything he comes back out with, he doesn't need the same infrastructure that he once needed. You do need the manufacturing, and you need the logistical support, and this is that and the third. But he's not going to be able to go to any type of major banks and really get the finance that he wants. But that doesn't mean that somebody's not willing to bank Kanye. At the end of the day, you say these Jewish people all about money. Yes, they are. And there's some of them that will still finance what you want to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just shut up on the anti-Semitic things.
That's it.
He has the opportunity now, which a lot of people doing independent, design, music and whatnot. You can reach out there and touch everybody with the internet. You don't really need to go through the same channels that you needed. So, like, some of the gatekeepers are not there anymore. And Kanye is in a position where, if he moves right, depending on how he moves over the next 10 years, he's going to be an amazing story to watch and learn from. You know what I mean? But
going over we're just real quick.
No, go ahead. That's the conversation, sir.
Yeah. So, like we were talking about just now, where you say, so it was like you could just move on your own and do this and do that. Even though we all know Kanye, let's take for example, maybe let's take any sports basketball player, and they make their shoe. Maybe Giannis, he's into the market right now, and he's like one of the most dominant basketball players. And you look at his shoe, we don't think as Giannis as a fashion designer or footwear designer. He's just backed by Nike, and this is just his shoe, and that's it. So if Kanye had moved into that space, he's just a musician. He's not really good at fashion. He needed to go through these processes with these brands so he can get the rapport. And not only that, he each collaboration was successful every time.
Yeah.
So now like the reason why Gap reached out to him is because Gap was like saw his buying potential and what he could bring to the brand. And because of that, then now he has so many brands he's collaborated with. Now he can go and step out and say, okay, well, you've seen what I can do, and I'm just doing myself. now he can do that. Now I can all respect Kanye is not only a music genius but also a fashion genius.
Oh, but I don't think anybody will disprove the fact that he's not a fashion genius. I think he has created pieces that we all look at it first and be like, I am not wearing those ripped hoodies. Are you crazy? But guess what? When you I've seen people with it, I'm like, I know I can tear my own clothes and I'll be fine. And but I ain't doing that. But I think, and I'm a Yeezy fan. Like I'm like, you worn those things? Those things are the most comfortable shoes in the world. I don't care what anybody say.
The marketing behind it, though. I mean,
But that's what I'm saying.
I'm sure your shoes are way more.
Yeah,
comfortable.
there are other things that are comfortable, but the thing of the matter is, I think is he was marketable. He knew exactly what to do. He knew how to do it. He knew the demographic that he was marketing to. So it made it easy for these big brands to collaborate with him. Now he's tinted, and I just want us to go there.
I'm gonna tell you this. What disappoints me the most about the situation is black people canceling.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't blame the Jewish community for.
I don't know.
But for black people to come out,
That's my issue.
But you know, but
But-
wasn't it really tied to like so much the anti-Semitism? Because like we gonna keep it real. Most people don't care about that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like people will be more upset. He said something about Chinese people than really the anti-Semitism thing. You know what I mean?
A lot of it's coming. I don't want to give no shade room no props because we're not on shade room time right now. But a lot of the comments I read, I'm hearing it from black people canceling him about the anti-Semitic comments that he made.
Or was it the black stuff that he said?
And that's what I was going to say.
That a long time ago, people said worse stuff.
But this is what it
That's
is.
the problem I have.
He said it a long time ago, but people were waiting for ammunition to get back at him. So now he says something to the big boys, and they're like, now we can go after him. That's what it was. He said things about black people a long time ago. Why Balenciaga didn't cancel? Why Adidas didn't cancel? But he said things about the big boys, and then the small boys decided, okay, so now we got the ammunition. Now we can go after him. And this is why it happened. Because if he had continued with the whole black thing and what he's saying, the whole MAGA and wearing White Lives Matter hat, who cares? It's Kanye. It's like, what her name? The orange chick. Who cares? Like, I don't care. She can say whatever she wants to say about black people. It ain't gonna do nothing to me. But he went to the wrong group.
But no, he was saying something. You could finish the point about like, being disappointed with black people for canceling him.
Yeah, I mean, we can. It's all opinionated because I can go. I mean, honestly,
it's a show too. It's called Outspoken Opinionated.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this, and this is very controversial. Now.
You are good.
And I don't want to like.
You are so good
on that road, but I actually agree with a lot of what he said. It's a very controversial statement. But there's a lot of truth behind it. If you look at what he said, a lot of times people say, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah. Don't get me canceled now.
No. For Kanye, a lot of what he's saying is actually true. Slavery technically was a choice. It was if you think about it. Now, again, like I said, it is.
Oh, you're gonna have all my black American friends gonna attack you.
Not I mean, it's just it is what it is. Like I'm not saying I'm not saying I agree. Look, so if
give it context, I think it was from origin. It was a choice because the people who sold the slaves had a choice not to sell their people, but they did. When the people came over here, it was not a choice. Because every black person had to get involved.
Like I said, I would never say that.
I would. I definitely would.
So you would?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. I wouldn't say that because I know that it's gonna fly over a lot of people's heads, just like it did when he said it. But I understood where he was coming from because it is a choice. Right now, even if I do have a gun and I can kill you, it's your choice whether or not you fight back or not. Whether or not you are outmatched, it's a choice. Yeah. We all have choices in life. We do. I mean, technically, what he's saying is true. Now, I wouldn't have said it.
You just said it.
No, because
it's recorded. It's gonna be on the internet.
You know, I think with that statement, it wasn't. He's not the one you need to hear that from. he doesn't have the capacity to articulate it
Thank
to
you.
really
To
Yeah.
dig into the true
explain
complexities of a
why it was
situation
a
like that, right?
choice.
Because like you gave a perfect example. If you had a gun and you aiming it at somebody, they have the choice whether they can fight back or they can just leave the power of life and death in your hands.
Yeah.
Right? That's a choice, but that wasn't really truly the situation that a lot of those people were in.
Exactly.
You know, the when you get captured and somebody sell you, you already in bondage, or you get captured and just taken to the ship because you was just perusing around in the forest wherever you were at.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I'm not
So no,
disputing
but
that.
like
I
that's
But
that's
you,
what I'm,
but
I
you
think
can
that
say
I think that
slavery was
yeah,
a choice.
I think that
It was not a
that's left
choice.
out of the
I don't think it's that.
conversation. And
But that's what we're
it's an
saying,
integral
and
part.
that's what he's
You know,
saying.
choice was made for a lot of them,
Mhm.
and then there, you know, we don't learn about a lot of the slave revolts that happened that got smashed, and then you don't learn about the ones that actually they worked, but they don't talk about them.
No.
You know what I mean? And I mean, you know, for all the things that Haiti has come to represent over time, I think one thing that we always remember, given their turmoil and whatnot, is that they had that revolt. You know what I'm saying? And they fought back. That wasn't the only one that happened, and that wasn't the only successful one. There are pockets of places in America where you couldn't even go as a white slave owner and whatnot because the black people had locked that situation down.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I think that when Kanye, I think you got to think of it a bit to like, where's the spirit of what you're saying coming from? And then it comes out in the way that you're even articulating it. Was the energy that you're coming with? People didn't appreciate that. And again, he should never really be the one to have those kind of outbursts because he lacks the capability of really explaining wherever his thought process might even be. I can't think and say what he meant.
Yeah.
But if that's what he meant at the least harmful, it never came out right, and you were unapologetic about it.
And basically, that's what conversation is. You need to understand when you put something out there, people are going to receive it.
Yeah.
And the way people receive it, you can determine that if I say this, people are going to understand where I'm coming from. No, they're going to hear your words and they're going to interpret your words for their understanding. And so when you say slavery was a choice, people are like, what?
Well,
But that's not what you meant, because you, like I said, okay, so we're gonna go back to the origination of what it was, because those individuals who sold their people had a choice not to sell their people, but they did. So that's a whole different ball game.
I think when it comes down to it, it's not like that we saw the options that we had in front of us, and it was like slavery or this, and then we was like, I think I like slavery more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think from that aspect it's a choice. It's like, all right, well, you've been sold already. You had no choice, right? And now you're in America right now, and you're seeing the brutality of it all, you know, and how everything. Like, let's say, for example, myself, right? I'm coming with my family. My whole family's here. We're getting whipped every day. Matter of fact, one day my brother decided to take food from me, and then he got whipped. He got hung, right? So that's an emotional response that you have to have deep inside you to be like, nah, this is not okay, you know. And then when you say things like we didn't have the power, we didn't have the will, we did, you know. And there is fear, you know, even till today. Like, but people, the reason why we have progression now, and the reason why we're here now and can walk around white people like it's nothing, is because all those people that had the conscious decision to say, look, I'm gonna change this. And then like even now, let's say, you know, people, you know, our different groups fight against like Jewish owned brands, right? We go out there, we say, you know, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Some people are looking at them like crazy, like, nah, this doesn't make any sense. You're not going to have any leeway. But then we're going to remember those people in history as being the people that fought against whatever iron mindset like we had.
Take a step further. I'm glad you actually brought that
And that's the last comment.
I'm gonna say this one last thing. Like I said, it was Kanye made a conscious choice to say what he said about the Jewish people. He could have easily became a slave to Balenciaga and Adidas.
I agree.
But he made a conscious choice. He risked that. Just like people who died, who haven't gotten credit for sacrificing for the black plight, as far as like getting killed, going against slave owners. Kanye could have easily been a slave to Balenciaga and could have kept being a billionaire, because he was worth more than Jay-Z, someone who he was actually underneath.
Right.
But he made a conscious decision to say, I'm going to rebel against that. That was a choice.
That's an emotional choice. You know, that's passion.
Well, and great conversation, fashion related, but text messages are coming in over time. But we're gonna do this again because I love this group. I like this group. And we're not going to do fashion no more. We're going to be talking next time. We're going to real talk about real black stuff because I like this. But what I really want us to go with for the people who are watching and people who will watch to go with it is how can they reach out to your brand? How can they purchase your stuff? How can they purchase your stuff? So can we start with Ade? Tell us website, Instagram, all that stuff.
Yes, it's just very simple. Like I said, adedapo.com is the website. We focus on more so West African and Western culture, that fusion. We also have an Instagram, adedapo underscore clothing. You can find it there too as well. But again, yeah, just reach out to us at adedapo.com and purchase these fly shades. Yeah.
I know some people here are saying that they say, "Oh, we like those shades."
You just you know, spell it out for them. So it's A.
AADEP. Mhm.
ADEDAPO.com.
Okay. Okay. And who's gonna go next? Anybody can talk about their stuff.
So right now, my all my social medias and everything that correlate with my brand, I took them all down, just to like kind of master more of my designs, my concepts, marketing, and everything, and then to just focus on other aspects of my life. Make sure it's in line with my next release. But on Instagram and all other platforms, it's at CHAUNCOLLINS. That's at Chaun Collins. I know it looks like Chaun, but it's Chaun, just like champagne. But so that's where you can get on social media. That's where you can find me. But right now my store is up. It's SeanCollins.WORK. So that's CHAUNCOLLINS.work, and that's where you can find me. You know.
And
Yeah, and as far as Uncle Dope goes, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat as well. Uncut Dope, spelled with a K, so that's UNKUTDOPE, and those are the handles we use for those three platforms as well. We also have the Uncut Dope Cartel page, which is UNKUTDOPEKARTEL. And our website is uncutdope.com. We just re-released some of our most popular sweatsuits. We released them yesterday for sale, and we will discontinue all of them at the end of November. You'll never be able to get those same ones again, and we'll be rolling out a whole bunch of new stuff over the next 5 months into December.
so you've heard it. What I would say is you better go out to Chaun Collins at work. You better go out to Adetosoye. You better go out to Uncut Dope because they said they're gonna discontinue. And there's I won't curse, but their stuff be real good. And I don't know, people. But it's been a great conversation, guys. I appreciate you guys for coming here. We say thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to be with us here on the conversation. Outspoken Opinionated. Of course, I am the host, Edwin Maya. Until next week, Thursday, you guys have an amazing week. And go out there, follow these guests, follow Chaun Collins, follow Adetosoye Clothing, follow Uncle Dope. Go out there, support Black businesses. It's important that we as Black people support Black businesses and follow me as well. Subscribe to the damn YouTube channel. What the hell wrong with y'all? Good. Until then, see you next week.